we've got too much else to do. That's,
upper
you've got it
extremity.
in your book. If you ever have to measure it, you've got a resource for that. You've learned how to use your book. Okay. All right, elbow flexion and extension. Your book shows this one being measured supine, and you can certainly do that. And I'm going to show you both ways to do it because sometimes you've got a patient that can't sit up for whatever reason, and you need to measure this. Okay. So where are we going to put our axis? Not the electron, because that's on the back. It's your lateral epicondyle. Where's my stable arm going?
With the humerus.
With the humerus. See, we've moved away from the shoulder, so we have to have a segment here and a segment here, okay? So, here's that epicondyle. So again, you may want to have her come over to the edge a little bit, okay, because you've got this big dial to deal with. Okay, so there's our 0. And then we have a bit.
Whoa. Soft tissue approximation.
Now that's, no, it is 137. Okay. Now, elbows are easily measured sitting up. So I'm gonna bring you down a little bit. I got you sit up. Kind of a rule of thumb is you do shoulders laying down so you stabilize the trunk. And then anything distal to the shoulder you can do sitting. So with the elbow, what that looks like is just, you know, you have her straighten out. And then you have a bit. Point. Oh. Okay. We can measure flexion and abduction sitting up as well. And sometimes you need to do that for a variety of reasons. So flexion, it's just the same way. She's just in a different position. So raise your arm forward. So you're gonna you'll lose your center, so you just gotta visualize where that center is. Okay, you're gonna line it up with your body and with your fingers. Okay, we're close to here. 77. Okay, and you can do abduction too. Make sure that you have that hand, the arm externally rotated, so you can do that. And you can either measure that one from the front or the back. Sometimes that's more comfortable to measure from the back to bring that female. Because you don't have to,
The boobies.
just deal with the boobs. It's more comfortable for you, it's more comfortable for her. So raise that arm. Okay, so I'm lining up with her body and along the.
There you go.
Internal, external rotation, you can measure in this position. I don't like it because it's just, it's hard to stabilize.
Oh, yeah.
And you think you need 3 hands when she's laying down. Try doing it.
Look at my shoulder, it went
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. So I don't like doing this one.
Are there patients who can't extend their elbow?
Yep. Yep.
That's
there
when
are.
you say if you're starting at like 20 or something.
Yeah, shoulders, typically, we don't have a problem with the 0 point, it's the other direction. Elbows, you can have problems either direction. Okay, so if she couldn't fully extend,
Your starting point would be.
your starting point, yeah.
Yes.
So let's just give them something. Okay, so there's our point, humerus. That's as far as we
Okay.
go. So our starting point is 45.
So you wouldn't put 0, you'd put 45.
You would put 45 because you can't get to 0.
Yeah, okay.
0 is not your starting point.
Alright.
If we
Okay.
start here, 0 is our starting
Yeah.
point.
Okay. that
If
makes
we start
45.
here, 45 is our starting point.
Two.
To 135 or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you say like till 135 due to soft tissue approximation, or that's just, because you can't really ever
What is
measure
it?
what the joint can do all the way because of that.
Right.
So
Right.
you don't have
Well,
to say.
well,
know what
if
normal
it's,
is,
if
right?
it's in, you know, like a 130-ish range,
Then you know it's normal.
then I don't worry about
But
it.
if you're like here, then you know that it's, that
Yes.
they got a
Yeah,
problem with
if you
flexion.
don't, if, you know, basically your end range is gonna be soft tissue approximation unless it's really limited.
They can't even get.
Like
to
it was
that
right
point.
here.
Yeah.
Do you
So
try
it's
to
like-
passively move it if,
Yeah,
and then if you can, it would stay? You'd say actively 45 if you can get it a little bit more than you would say passively,
40,
whatever.
yeah. Yeah. So the trick right now is just to learn how to measure.
But if they're only able to get here because they're really obese, and that's what they're.
Then you might, say,